Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
What's up?
How are you?
I can't believe we never met each other until today. That's kind of crazy.
It's really weird.
It's kind of crazy. It was always like at the store, they're like, Katt was here last night. I'm like, fuck. It was always two ships in the night.
Right. I would see you and not be able to get to you. Like, comedy is small, but only if you're mediocre. It's big. It's a vast, vast place.
It's vast and it's also small because there's so few of us. And worldwide, we were talking about this the other day. There's maybe 500 of us on the planet. You know, you got to be real generous and say 500 because it's really probably about 250.
Right.
Like legit comics, guys you want to hang out with, guys who are fun, guys who
your numbers going down.
Guys you'd recommend, leave your house, get a babysitter. The number's going down. It's not a lot of people.
Right.
You think about the billions and billions of people on the planet, there's a little smidgen of us.
Well, as children, we all take to talking with ease. And so the fact that later on in your life, you be one of the people that could say, I talk for a living, is an amazing honor.
It's amazing.
Even if you look 1,000 years back.
Yeah, especially today. To just be able to talk for a living? Oh my God. What? And that's the problem also with what we do, is that everybody can talk. So they see you talking, they're like, I can do what he's doing.
Right.
He's just up there talking.
And the better you do it, the easier it looks,
Right.
which is part of the trap.
Yeah, it's part of the trap.
It looks like he doesn't think about what he says. He just says stuff. But you couldn't be as accurate.
No. And then there's hanging around with comics and getting to know about shit like their electric Rolls Royces.
Right. Right. If Satan hits me, just know I'm hitting back immediately. You're going to know about it if I've never heard. Yeah, the electric specter.
That thing is insane. That thing's insane. Just the way the doors open up, the way the doors close when you touch the brakes. Totally silent.
For the price point, it would have to be perfect. And the whole thing is, it is. And that's what you're trying to do in any genre. Mm-hmm. Like, you're trying to find that thing that is flawless in that genre.
Right.
And that's it.
That's the Rolls Royce. I've never had one of those.
Right. Well, because it's important to you that you be grounded in the important ways. So I can see you not having not had a Rolls Royce. I've had 4, 5.
I'm not opposed to it. It's just the idea of it to me is like, don't do that. For me, I'm always like, get away from that.
Right.
A muscle car.
Well, see, you see what I mean? Yeah, because we live vicariously through these things, and it's been that way for all of humankind. I'm saying it was still like that for the Roman and his chariot.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's how he felt. Like, that's how horsemen feel about that ride. You know, like,
yeah.
Transportation and people have a love story.
Yeah, that's really the only object that I'm really into. Like, I'm
Vehicles.
into vehicles. I'm into mechanical vehicles.
Right.
There's like something about mechanical vehicles that just speak to me. I love them. I love looking at them. I love sitting in them. I love driving them. It's just like, it's one of the things that people say, like, money can't buy you happiness. That's definitely true. If you're fucked up, you're not going to get happier if you get rich. But if you're already reasonably happy and you can afford a nice muscle car, god damn, you'll feel happier. You will feel happier.
But every time.
Every time.
So what I'm saying is, when I got the 67 Chevy Camaro, I needed no other cars. Mm-hmm. I was complete.
Yeah.
When I got the Grand National, you couldn't tell me anything. There was nothing on the highway that was of my ilk.
Yeah.
But I've felt that way 12, 13 times. That's what makes it real love.
Yeah, they give you real joy
Yeah.
every time you drive them.
And you feel like that character in that movie. You
Fuck
know?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you drive a 1970 Chevelle, you feel like John Wick.
yeah, it's a sacred place. There's music there. There's
Yeah.
recklessness, but there's safety.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like it gets to
Thrills.
the essence of a being.
And I think it's a thing that won't exist 100 years from now. I think automated driving will be mandatory. I really do. I think we're about
Well-
100 years away. 100 years away from no personal automobiles. No control of your vehicle. We're going to stop all crashes. If we could stop all crashes and all highway deaths. Come on, Katt. Won't you contribute and give up all your rights to drive? We're
It's-
going to stop all death.
Yeah, it's not. But understand that all of these things have financial benefits, and then they use those perks you just mentioned to get you in. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But somebody's making money.
I believe that it'll be mandatory, but for practical reasons, like this thing where the police want you and they have to chase you and you may get away. Those days are done.
Yeah, they're just
You
going to
see what I'm
shut your car off. Yeah.
your car is going to do what they
Yeah.
tell it to do,
Yeah.
which is get behind this patrol car and follow us to the station. Lock the
Speculation
doors,
that
like-
they've had that for a long time, you know. There was that famous journalist, Michael Hastings, that was his name. There's this journalist. I don't know if you know this story, but it's pretty crazy. This guy went to Afghanistan. It was Afghanistan with the troops. And he was only supposed to be there writing a Rolling Stone article about this general for a very short amount of time. But then there was the volcano in Iceland. And the volcano in Iceland stopped air travel. So this journalist from the Rolling Stone was embedded in this troop. And they started talking shit. And he started reporting the shit that they were talking, including disparaging comments that the general had said about Obama. So the general gets back. He has to retire. He has to, it's the Rolling Stone exposed. It's a big deal because everybody loves this general. So he retires, and this Michael Hastings guy is on the run. And he's terrified. He's telling people, if I commit suicide, I did not kill myself. People are threatening my life. And then he's going down La Brea, and his car is going like 120 miles an hour and just slams into a tree and explodes. And there's a video footage of it. This dude is just flying, look at that, flying down the street. Hits a tree, and the car explodes. And they asked security experts at that time, I think this was like 2005? 2004, 2005? Is it possible to control a vehicle remotely? They said, does your vehicle have a computer? If your vehicle has a computer, they can control it. Period. There's a way.
And they know that.
And they've been doing that for, this is
2010.
2010. So this is 14 fucking years ago.
Easy peasy.
If they could do that then, what can they do now? They just shut your fucking car right off.
That's what his article came out. I'm sorry. So I think the accident was 2013.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, how was the article in 2010 if the accident's in 2013?
Well, the article came out first and exposed McChrystal. Then
Oh, the Rolling Stone
yeah,
article.
yeah,
I thought you
yeah,
meant
yeah.
the article
No,
on
sorry.
the accident.
If you actually do reading about Tesla, see, that's the thing, Joe. That's why I love history so much, because once you find out that this world is a circle, you can never get lost. Like,
Right.
you can look at certain things and it'll
Patterns.
tell you what's going to happen later, like with amazing accuracy. Like, yeah, like that's how I knew that things like what you showed me with Hastings, that those were real things.
Yeah.
It's not.
They've always been real.
Everybody who has ever been killed in one of those ways, there was a financial benefit to it. It was obvious. It was easy. You know where it came from. It's just that they do a good job. But how is that difficult if that's your job? Like, they do this. They do this really well. They do it worldwide.
Well, so this guy fucked with the worst person you could fuck with. A high-ranking, beloved general who's in charge of trained killers who love him. And you don't think he could put one of those dudes on you with a coffee meeting? Just have a sit down at Starbucks with no phones on you? And let me explain what's going on.
A shadow government is no more difficult than a government.
Yeah. And so not only that, they don't have to get elected. It's even better. Even nicer. They can stay for a long time. Think about J. Edgar Hoover. How long did that motherfucker stay in power for? He was running the FBI wearing a dress for like 30 years.
Because of what you just discussed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like there are that's why I can speak with impunity about the Illuminati, because I know who you would have to be in order for what I'm saying to bother you, number one.
Right.
Number two, I know your big secret. I know that you're not the Illuminati. I am. So you can't be illuminated. You're too dark. But the difficulty is getting people to believe something that they don't want to believe. And in each of these cases, this is where the money is. If you're just a capitalist, it is find something, establish a value for it, and make sure that that includes your profit, and make sure people really want it.
Right.
It is very fundamental.
Also, if you're running corporations and you're making billions of dollars, you're going to get bored. What's the ultimate game? The ultimate game is to run the whole world. Do you know what the ultimate game is, Katt?
I do.
We have an overpopulation problem, Katt.
Yeah.
It's an overpopulation problem.
Right.
And we're gonna be able to mitigate that with vaccines. We're gonna be able to mitigate that with health care.
Right.
We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna get rid of a bunch of people.
We used to be able to do it with neglect, and it was called nature's way.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like whatever was ailing you, it wasn't ailing everybody in the world. The Chinese didn't have it because they had 6,000 herbs 6,000 years ago and knew what each one did. And,
people are very resistant to that when they don't realize that almost all pharmaceutical drugs come from plants.
You can't be against the original.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's government propaganda working on you. That's like remember when they had Marinol, when they were making weed illegal, and the people were going through cancer, and their doctors had prescribed them weed for chemotherapy, so they gave them Marinol. Do you remember that shit?
I do.
It's like a synthetic version of weed that's terrible.
But terrible is subjective,
right?
To nothing. So they have this oil-like cannabis that is for people having seizures,
right?
And it's the only thing that will stop a seizure.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But here's the thing: the fact that there is a God is the biggest conversation worldwide, but the truth of the matter is there is more reason for you to believe there is a God than there is for you to not. Like the way that things interact, like if we're just talking about marijuana or alcohol or whatever that is, you have to understand that this thing serves no other purpose than to bring pleasure to this small group of beings.
Right.
And the fact that it already was set up to do that, the fact that it was already set up on this planet for there to be medicines for us to find and to utilize. And you see what I'm saying? It's it's not like, oh, yeah, so he made a cow. No, to make a cow, it means you had to also have made grass. And it means you would have had to have invented a whole new eating system for this animal, which was cud. And that means you would then have to have given him 3 stomachs to be able to, and you would have to have known that he was going to then emit a gas that was going to be necessary on the planet. Like, like none of these things.
Fertilizer, all of it.
Right. The fact that
Seeds.
Everything goes together is how.
It's pretty wild. And every time we step in and fuck with it, it goes haywire.
Right.
Every time human beings do it.
Predictably haywire.
Haywire.
Right.
Haywire.
Right. But that's part of the benefits of free will. Is you really can jump into a volcano, dude.
Yeah. Haywire.
You really can.
I mean, think about what we've done to wildlife. The craziest thing in this country, especially right here, is pigs. Bro, wild pigs are everywhere, and there's so many of them. I went to a friend of mine's farm, or well, it's like a ranch to hunt wild pigs,
Yeah.
and you just hear them like Lord of the Rings characters in the bushes, and there's 150 of them near you, 250 of them, thousands on the ranch. They're all over the place, and they have 3 litters a year, and they start having litters when they're 6 months old. They just pump out piglets. Let's go.
You can tell they're not delicious.
They are delicious.
Oh, well, then here we go then.
They're
we don't really
delicious.
we don't really have a problem then,
Right.
do we?
No, we have a we need to eat pigs problem.
No, we need to be sending this off somewhere
Yeah.
to someone who does.
Well, definitely we should. That would be an easy way to solve a lot of hunger problems.
I'm saying we live in a country
Yeah.
where we're complaining about food sources.
It's a good point.
These chickens are pecking us to death. They're everywhere. I can't even sleep. Yeah, but they're delicious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Have more chickens. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we do have an overabundance problem for sure. We really do. But the pig thing is a wild one. It's hard to get them. Like they're very smart and they spread out and there's so fucking many of them. They shoot them with helicopters. They
Oh,
fly
yeah, I've
over
seen
them.
it. Right.
I haven't been
It's-
invited 3 times since I moved here to go shoot pigs out of a helicopter.
But that's part of the reason that you came to Texas.
The freedom, for
Texas,
sure.
Texas is a place of great adventure
Yeah.
and people who believe in that.
Yeah.
Right. It's really God's country in the right places.
It is in the right places. I think you're going to have annoying people everywhere you go in this world. But in general, I think the people here overall are nicer, they're friendlier, and they're not captured. They're not captured by the ether of Hollywood. They haven't been sucked into the vortex of ideological thinking and just that weirdness of that town. So when you escape that and just be around regular people, you're like, oh, people are all right. I've just been in an insane asylum. You're looking for a girlfriend. Like you have to
Right.
be in a place where you're around good people, like normal people. That's better for you.
You're not trying to say that people that happen to live there are not nice people.
A lot of nice people there, for
here's,
sure.
Here's the thing. Hopefully we can agree that the problem is with extremes.
Yes.
Extreme anything.
Yes.
Extreme left is as vicious and as far right.
Yep.
It's, the middleness of it all that makes America great. And
For
Texas
sure.
has been front and center of that forever.
I think a big part of it, though, is how much does your government control you? Even when things don't even make sense. Like in California, they made flavored vapes illegal. Can you imagine? You're
Yeah.
like, strawberry mist is our number one
That was
problem.
fine, but they let it also hurt black people in that it counted menthol as a flavor and hurt Newport.
So you can't sell menthol cigarettes in California.
Right. They
That
have their own cigarettes.
is
They have
wild.
non-menthol Newports. Yeah, it's terrible.
Why do black people like menthol so much? What's that about? It's a totally different type of cigarette.
You're going to get me canceled.
No.
This is very racist, this
Is it?
conversation, even though neither of us are. Go figure.
Just talking about a type of cigarette that
us
people
saying,
enjoy?
just saying, why do black people like Newport so much? And a black
Menthol
black
cigarettes. person
actually getting ready to answer this. Oh, it's terrible on all ends.
I don't think it is.
Well, I don't think it is either because we have a new.
It's like if you started
cigarette.
asking me about spaghetti, I'm not going to get offended. If you started asking me about Italian food or why are Italian people so loud, I'm not going to get offended.
How many people have ever died of pasta-related illnesses?
A lot.
Joe.
A lot of fatzos out there kicking the bucket, bro.
That's not because of pasta.
That's an overabundance of carbohydrates.
They were going to be fat wherever they lived, sir.
Maybe. That's an overindulgence.
Going to be great bread
in
eaters in
delicious high
Uzbekistan.
carbohydrate food. They couldn't stop it. People are addicted to food like they're addicted to anything. And if there's a thing that I could ever be addicted to, it's that.
That's all of us, though.
All of us.
And what a blessing.
Yeah. We have so much.
Starving people are addicted
Exactly.
to anything, and they don't have food-related illnesses.
Exactly.
But back to where we were.
Yeah.
You were
The
asking
left
me about
versus the right. I
about
just-
the menthol cigarettes.
Oh, that's right.
And the answer is, I we value strength in product. So there's this whole thing with liquor and malt liquor and the difference between the two, and one is richer and stronger. And
the more potent version.
right. And as
that makes
as
sense.
a people, we tend to go with those products.
Things that are stronger. That makes sense.
Right. Like before things were called concentrate.
Yeah.
That's what we appreciated.
That makes sense.
Concentrated. And the fact that menthol is a natural thing. So,
Right.
anybody who is from the South knows about mint plants and,
And menthol
You
used
always-
as a skincare product, like
Yeah.
injuries and shit.
Right, like you appreciate that as a flavor profile.
Right. That makes sense.
The mint julep.
It's just telling people they can't have that anymore. Who the fuck are you? That's my position.
Well, and that's a noble position, and we appreciate the fact that you represent that. But the truth of the matter is not pretty. And the truth of the matter is that most people would like to be controlled more by their government if they
To make
had.
it easier? Maybe.
Most people are all for government control as long as they don't have to discuss it.
Yeah. As long as it works in their favor, they'll give up a lot of rights. And then hopefully the next administration that's
Rights are
right-wing
generally
won't abuse
worthless
those
at the
rights.
time.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that if the government can make life easier, a lot of people have it hard, right? So if the government
Yeah.
comes in and says, I'm going to make it easier for you, but I'm going
Right.
to need certain requirements of you. I'm going to need you to have a digital ID. That digital ID will be attached to a social credit score. And we're going to give you universal basic income. You no longer have to worry about food or shelter. You'll be taken care of. And now you can pursue your dreams.
Is this the mark of the beast you're
Yeah,
speaking of, sir?
I think it is.
Right.
Look,
That's the whole thing. Is it's never been difficult at any point in history. Like we got a dude right now that's telling you front and center that I put a computer in somebody's head, guys.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And everybody's going, yeah.
it's the greatest thing in the world, sir.
Yeah.
But we understood this 15, 20, 25 years ago. We understood while watching Tron or while watching Cyborg, we understood that there was just this small line medically that needed to be crossed in order for us to be able to do these things.
Yeah.
Like if you can hook a battery up to an octopus and make it go like this, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
Why? Because this is a machine that we have.
It's a biological machine.
Right. And once
Yeah.
you understand it, you understand it.
Yeah. And you could fuck with that machine. You could juice it up. You could fucking get it stronger, get it smarter.
This
you could do
is-
a lot of things with that machine.
This is what the Anunnaki said. This is how you know that these are not made up things from people's imagination, because everything is too factual. Like this necklace, right?
Right.
People online were like, yeah, is that Buddhist or that's this or that? It's none of that. Like I just try to find the answers to things. So
Is that a ship wheel?
I designed this because this is that thing that you see that all the Anunnaki guys that have that look like a wristwatch, and they always have it, and you're always trying to see what that is.
What is that?
It is a time, and it's a compass. It's a timekeeping compass.
That's what that is?
Yeah. So that's what made the carrier of great importance, because he was able to do things that were magical in nature, like go somewhere and get right back. Like, you know what I mean?
So, yeah,
like
that thing on the wrist was a compass?
timekeeping
Compass.
Yeah. Right. So you had to believe in things that didn't exist at some point, like magnetics and distance and
Right.
probabilities and
Right.
That's how, like, if you were to read like thousands of books about people that knew a bunch of shit, like you start finding out that it's not really about knowing anything. It's about where to go to get the information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when we look at all the ruins all around the world, like we're not seeing ruins of colleges and universities and all of that. We're seeing temples and synagogues and churches, but people don't understand that that's where that information was coming from for that period of time. When we went to these temples, they weren't in there singing and reading from a book. They were in there being taught things that they were able to go put into practice. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they were being taught art, agriculture. You know what I mean? Like they were being taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had some very bizarre knowledge too. They had a detailed knowledge of cosmology. They had a really detailed knowledge of our solar system.
100% of the writings across the world, whoever said anything about space or the universe or what was out there, why were all of them correct, Joe? It's not even possible. Like, how did they know that Mars was the red planet, and why was it a worldwide fact?
Right.
Planetarily, that Saturn had rings, like,
Yeah.
based upon what information? Because nobody worldwide is disagreeing. Nobody's like, oh, I thought of this, or it came to me in a dream. Nobody's saying that anywhere in anybody's civilization. Everybody's civilization says this information came from the people that came from there.
Yeah.
There are no coincidences.
Well, they know that Mars used to have an atmosphere. Mars used to have an atmosphere, it used to have water. Something happened to its environment.
If that's correct, then there's a
Yeah.
guy right now saying he's getting ready to put people up there.
Yep. Exactly.
You see?
Restarted all over again.
50 years ago, there was no water in our whole universe. Let them tell it. Now there's been water almost everywhere. There's water on the moon, for crying out
Are
loud.
you familiar with the Younger Dryas impact theory? Do you know what that is?
Say what it
Younger
is.
Dryas impact theory is a theory that Earth goes through a cycle of like comet storms every June and every November. And most of the time nothing happens. But every now and again we get hit. We get hit big. And they think we got hit big 11,800 plus years ago. And that had to restart civilization. And that what you're seeing from like Mesopotamia, all these people 6,000 years later, they think that is a rebuilding of civilization that was already like just whispers and stories and tales, and then they rebuilt it again thousands of years later. But if you go back to like 11,800 BC, 11,800 years ago, you're dealing with what we thought were hunter-gatherers, and now we know they weren't. Now we know they built complex stone structures, and the real speculation is they think that the people who built the pyramids built them way earlier than the conventional dating is. They think there's real evidence that shows
No.
they're 9,000, 11,000 years old. Easy.
No people built the pyramids.
No people?
No.
Who built them?
No people built the pyramids. And if you look around the world, you see certain telltale things that let you know that advanced machinery was in usage. Look, there
For
this
sure.
whole thing where slaves are stronger people is a fallacy. We like to believe that slaves are stronger. Slaves are weaker because they don't eat the right food and they live a terrible life. Your slave population is not smarter and better condition unless you're enslaving the
built
Jews.
the pyramid. They stopped thinking that quite a while ago. They think it was actually skilled labor because of the way they were eating. They found what their camps were, where their food was. They ate like very good food. So they think they were actually skilled labor, but also probably forced skilled labor. But that's probably not the people who built it. That's probably the people that were working on it. That's probably the people that worked in the village or in the city.
How many companies have done renovations on the White House? None of them have done enough renovation that they can claim it's their White House. So yes, thousands of years worth of people were there. But that doesn't have anything to do with the building of it.
Who do you think built it?
Well, understand, we know enough now to understand that this was a complex. This was not...
Right.
We've been led to believe that this is how much they worshipped their dead bodies.
Right.
But the evidence doesn't show any of that.
No, it doesn't.
Like when you see inside, when they have those intricate carvings and paintings and stuff in gold and stuff, you have to remember this is in a windowless room, folks. There's no candle soot. There's no this. It's clearly a power plant and built specifically for that location on this planet. For
what do you think it was powered
usage.
by?
The hot water springs underneath it.
So it was powered by the hot water springs? And to what end? How do you know all this, first of all? Is this marijuana talk?
I don't think so. This is...
Where did you read this?
If you follow information about humankind, you find out that in all parts of history, people were coming to this region for their information and their knowledge and their things that were forbidden, and these were not these were the highest of human civilization.
Not even comparable to anyone else.
No.
Nor since. Nor
now
since.
or yeah.
Nor since.
Right.
The Great Pyramid of Giza is insane.
Right. Like
it's insane.
Like even Tesla says that this is where he came to get the information. But if you follow that information pathway, it leads you to this character called Thoth, right? And the emerald tablets of Thoth are literally mind-changing and mind-blowing, just because you understand when this was written and the terminology being used is...
When was it written?
Far too accurate for now. So, I'm sure that...
Here it is. Emerald Tablet. Also known as the Smaragdine Tablet, or the Tabula Smaragdina. Boy, I fucked that up. It's
Hermes,
a compact and
Trismegistus.
A cryptic Hermetic text. It was highly regarded by Islamic and European alchemists as the foundation of their art. Though attributed to the legendary Hellenistic figure Hermes Trismegistus. How do you say it, bro?
Trismegistus.
Trismegistus.
Yeah.
The text of the Emerald Tablet first appears in a number of early medieval Arabic sources, the oldest of which dates to the late 8th or early 9th century. It was translated into Latin several times in the 12th and 13th centuries. Numerous interpretations and commentaries followed. So what does it say, though? The Egyptian god Thoth. Okay, it says, beginning in the 2nd century BC onwards, Greek texts attributed to Hermes, a syncretic combination of Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth, appeared in Greco-Roman Egypt. Those texts known as the Hermetica are heterogeneous collection of works that in the modern day era are commonly subdivided into two groups: the technical Hermetica, comprising of astrological, medico-botanical, alchemical, and magical writings, and the religio-philosophical Hermetica, comprising of mystical, philosophical writings. Holy shit.
Is this weed talk, Joseph?
No, this is so legit.
So legit, my man.
So this dude was probably an alien.
Dude, first of all, there are no probablys.
Yeah.
That's the benefit once you hear it or read it, is the fact that it's given in first person, and that's not possible. The things that are being said are impossible. Enough time has passed, though, that it's not like that. But
I'm going to read that.
He literally says, hey, there's a spaceship on Earth, and this is where it is. Because if all you care about is information, right? Like, that's what you start to see is when you get to everybody's civilization, Asian, Indian, African, when you get to the crux of their information, nobody's disagreeing with anybody.
Right. If you figured out how the fuck they did it, if there was any logical explanation that people could have done it, I would be on board. I'd be like, well, okay.
But there aren't any people saying that.
Human beings it's possible if you had enough power and you had enough engineering and mathematics that you could figure out how to design and construct the pyramid.
Yes.
But then the logistical problem of getting the stones from hundreds of miles away, massive, several ton, up to 80-ton stones.
Joe.
That's crazy.
If you
500 miles away, some of them.
Even if you could do it, let me ask you this. Would you build it on sand?
I don't think it was originally sand. See, that's the thing.
Right. This was a fertile valley.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Right.
The Nile Valley.
They had electric and Wi-Fi, and they had all of that.
They probably did. And that's probably where the Younger Dryas impact theory comes in.
The greatest trick is to make us believe that people back then were dumber and we're smarter.
Right.
And that whole thing is a fallacy.
Yeah, that's definitely not real.
But it's worth it for us to believe that.
I think we are the children of the survivors of some great catastrophe. And I think that's why every single
Not everybody.
biblical scholar... What?
Not everybody. Some people
What do you mean?
are that.
Some people are the survivors?
Right.
Well, I mean, most human beings probably got wiped out in comet storms. And I think we probably got... Look, there's been points in history that they know of where human beings got down to like 7,000 people.
Who's counting them?
I think they use genetics and they backtrace and they try to find individuals that were capable of having X amount of children. I wonder how they do the calculations. It's a good question.
The things in
I'm
Hollywood
just guessing, honestly.
and in writing that have attracted our attention worldwide were all based on some truth. So all the stories of hobbits have been successful in all of their genres. Why? Because they existed. Like we now know that there were whole pygmy groups and that, we understand that that's what the Seven Dwarves was.
Yeah. Like that island of Flores, man, that they found. They literally call it a hobbit. It was like a 3-foot-tall person that was covered in hair, smaller head than us, used tools.
As a preteen, I knew that Atlantis really existed just because of how it was spoken of offhandedly.
Mm-hmm. Just that it was
in
known
early writings.
Yeah.
Well, not just mentioned, but mentioned offhandedly like you would a place that's just a landmark.
Right. We landed in New York before we went to Montreal. Yeah.
We were in Austin by Dallas.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the guy that thinks that they found the spot in Africa? What is that the ring called? That Jimmy Corsetti is he's on this. This dude is an expert in this shit. And he's an expert in ancient catastrophes and the remnants and the evidence that shows that these civilizations existed and something happened. And he's focused on this one area in Africa that he believes is Atlantis. And he says it has all the hallmark characteristics, and there's all the evidence of massive water erosion surrounding the area. And that at one point in time, it's very likely that this area got hit with a massive flood, and it matches all the characteristics of Atlantis. When you see it, when you see the way the concentric circles of rings, try explaining this. You're going to see it. And try explaining this through a natural phenomenon that doesn't exist anywhere around it.
Right.
Concentric circles that is near what used to be water and there's heavy water erosion marks all around it that indicate massive amounts of quick-flowing water in a very short period of time?
Right. Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but I know exactly where it is. It's right here.
That's it. Look at that thing. Bro, are you fucking kidding me?
The reshot structure.
That's it. The reshot structure. I mean, are you fucking kidding me?
I think if you go 3D, you can see the...
Now imagine if that was this massive city of concentric circles and walls and a thriving population, and then it gets hit with this water. You can see the water erosion all over the place. The whole thing looks like it's washed out. See?
Yeah.
It looks like it was washed out because it was.
Right.
And that's salt, I believe.
But that's
yes,
what
there's
makes
salt there. That's the other thing.
between this and the Garden of Eden locations. Like these are two of the great landmarks in human history.
Where's the Garden of Eden?
When you read the stories, right, the thing that strikes you is that it's so specific. Like it says things in talking about the Garden of Eden that, wait a minute, if I can't find what you're talking about, this isn't even real. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like where the Garden of Eden was, there's, I think, 4 rivers that come from it. And then it names 2 of them. Like, I don't want to be specific because at least he's going to bring it up. But it's like the Nile and the Euphrates, right?
Right.
So you know 2 of them. And it's saying, you know, where the 4 meet, this is where it is. And, yeah, my whole life I was like, This is really weird, because at one period of time we're thinking no flood happens. There's so many things that have lined up from these great religious books to where we can see that no, something happened here. Like,
something happened, and these are stories of people telling stories that have been told to them for about 1,000 years.
But this is why, right?
Yeah,
this is why they were told, and that's what that's the difference between those of us that want to know the world's mysteries and conspiracy theorists. Like, there's nothing to a conspiracy theorist because you're not producing what you're using. But these world mysteries, like, that's harder to do. A lie is not something that people are going to repeat for generations on generations. It's being repeated like that because people have reason to believe it to be true. And as you go through history, you see that those are the stories that we still talk about, but they're still valid. Like there were writings that the African Dogon tribe is like,
from like the Sirius star system.
Like they're saying very specific things. And for hundreds of years, we're going, you guys are idiots. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Like somebody will have a fake star story.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And now we get to the point where we can actually see what they were talking about.
What if we find out that we're aliens? That we were just dropped off here a long-ass time. The Adam and Eve story is the story of the place where they created us.
I'm sure we're the only people in the universe that think like that.
You think so? Why do you think that?
No portion of humankind's story differs from that.
It's all creation story.
Like, if you go, that's why NASA and Space Force are not more forthcoming, because the further you get in space, the more obvious shit is. Like, once you're up there and you're looking down, this shit doesn't look like there is no God. It looks like you're in the middle of somebody's workshop and they just showed you every single way that every star can be made, every single way a planet can be made, every way that a black hole can be, a galaxy, a universe, and then showed you the best of the best.
It's the spot. I mean, in our solar system, we're the best neighborhood that's ever existed. They all suck. Every other planet sucks.
We're rudimentary enough that we still require environmental help.
Right, until you get that chip. Once you get
At
that chip,
each point, it would be like saying people that didn't learn how to ride horses, they were slow. Like they couldn't run fast enough, so they got horses.
right.
No, it didn't have anything to do with that. Better's better.
That's really what it's going to be. Better's
Right,
better.
right.
We're all going to integrate.
Like we would have told you 30 years ago that we wouldn't need a Space Force unless we went up there and found something.
I think the Space Force, the idea is that they're worried about
It's not an idea.
someone else being in space first with weapons flying around.
You mean us?
Yeah, well, if we can do it, they can do it. That's the thing.
Who is they?
Whoever it is.
No,
China.
There's only humankind and
Yes.
alien.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
The problem is, this is what we really need. We really need this Neuralink to lock us all together so everybody could read everybody's mind. That's what's going to happen, and then there's going to be no more leaders. There's going to be no more governments.
Okay. You're being
There's gonna
very
be no more
controversial right now. Okay, so look, that
Better is better.
That exists already. So just understand that the worldwide government is way smarter than we give them credit for because they have us believing they don't do nothing. But the truth is, like there's no such thing as the government is in bed with the internet. No, the internet is a government installation that they allowed the world to use for free so that they could have the information willingly because you're on it.
That's what it became.
Exactly.
But I think
that's
it's
what it
just
was
the
to
progression.
become.
You think so?
Yes.
The progression of technology oftentimes leads itself to, like, even cell phones. At first, it was Michael Douglas walking on the beach in Wall Street, looking amazing with that brick, carrying that big brick. Like, look at that guy. He's got a phone with no cord. He's out on the beach. This is insane. To everybody having a phone.
But not to everybody, because those in the ham radio community and people with the CBs, they didn't feel like that was cutting edge because it really wasn't. Like
It's still cutting edge to be able to walk around with a device. It's a leap in technology.
Here's the thing. When you look at all of our inventions, that's when you know that these space encounters were real, because we only have advancement in a couple of industries in the world, and everything else is nothing. So like the microwave that they had 30 years ago, it looks the same as the same microwave now. Why? Because it was done as a military thing. It was supposed to be a weapon, and then they found out, it heats up food, and they put a door on it. And so it hasn't changed at all because invention is very difficult. And
Do you subscribe to the idea that we get back engineered?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why those leaps, we don't see those leaps in anything else, is my point. Like
Yeah. There's so much
real
speculation about the creation of a bunch of different things that came out of Roswell. Fiber optics.
Right, but remember, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, this is crazy talk.
Crazy talk, yeah. But now it's New York
it's
Times.
not. Like, it's at the point, at this point, like, Area 51 would have to be doing something.
They were definitely doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody's telling a differing story as to what it is.
Right.
Like, people have great imaginations all through history. They could make up something. The only damning information is if you read 3,000 accounts of these entities and realize, wait a minute, why is everybody describing the same couple of beings?
Right.
Like there's no
Right.
outliers. Like
There's like 3 different things they describe. Yeah, they said that the documented 8 to 12.
we're not talking about English speaking people. We're talking about worldwide. Right.
Worldwide.
Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what is striking.
Indigenous people in Australia drew them. Yeah.
Right. Nobody's saying anything outlandish. And
No.
that's what you get to when you go religiously or
Well, the alien thing is a bit of a religion to a lot of folks. They don't want to believe anything.
it's a necessary component.
Yeah.
Whatever religion you're a part of, at some point it says
You were contacted.
that there
Yeah.
was a fight in heaven and,
Yeah.
this happened and that happened.
Yep. Every
And-
single one of them.
Everyone, nobody's telling a different story. Everybody's telling the same stories.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you know that vagina and gold are universal things, because in everybody's story, none of these otherworldly entities had any interest in anything other than women,
and gold.
right? Pussy or gold. Like, because, and you understand that now when you start learning about what's in space, because you can see that any element or any commodity that we sell here is abundant in space, like trash. They found one meteor that was worth all the money.
On Earth.
Yeah, 770 billion.
No, it's
Trillion. It was
Whatever
another
it is.
number. It's some
crazy number.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they know that there's spots in space that have abundant minerals that are very valuable. And the thing about the Sumerian story, the Sumerian text story, the real life story may make everyone a billionaire on this earth. Everyone would be a billionaire.
But
Every person would earn several billion dollars.
So it sounds jokey, right? But understand, somebody got this contract. Like, they
Right.
broke this up into several worldwide contracts. Like,
10,000 quadrillion.
it's just there.
But here's the thing. If you got that much gold, is gold valuable anymore? Because one of the things about gold is that there's not that much of it. If you look at, you ever seen the number of gold on Earth?
That's not necessary in capitalism. They showed us that with diamonds.
That's true. They could hide.
It is about the perception of things. And if I buy up all of something, it is rare now. Immediately.
Right.
Just because I have control of all of it.
Right.
And that is worth killing Tesla over. And that's why
Yeah.
the people are still in business in Hollywood, because everything's a commodity.
Did you ever read, you ever heard of Zecharia Sitchin? Zecharia Sitchin was a biblical scholar who, he deciphered the Sumerian texts, and he was like an expert in language. And when he deciphered, he might not have been a biblical scholar, might have just been a language expert. But either way, he deciphered these texts and wrote these books about the real meaning behind everything they were saying. And he said that the reason why we are so fascinated with gold is that the Anunnaki literally would have us mine gold for them because they needed it to protect their atmosphere. So what they would do is take gold, which is a very rare in what it does. What gold can do is you can take a little piece of gold like this big and coat this entire table. It's real weird.
Right.
So you could turn into a fine dust, and they suspended this fine dust in their atmosphere to protect them from a degrading atmosphere because they were getting global warming or whatever.
Everybody that was
He wrote about this in the 70s.
it doesn't matter because everybody in Egypt knew it. Like, this is where the alchemy.
Yeah, that's where it all originated.
Right.
We don't even know what they knew.
None of those people are saying, hey, I came up with this shit. They're saying,
Right, somebody gave it to us.
somebody who came from this place here came and told us that this is how this goes and this is what this is worth.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying the people that were being abused in the mines going to get the diamonds, it wasn't like that for them. It was just them getting these rocks. And this crazy guy's going to pay a day's wages for us to gather rocks. Let's gather them.
Right.
You know, this is... But when you follow back, it's all about the information. And at the top of it, nobody's trying to claim it. Like, nobody's saying...
Right, I invented this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild. If imagine this, that's how we're getting most of our shit, back engineered stuff they leave for us. We have to figure it out, sort through it. The people that have alien technology, if the people that do have an alien craft that they work on, what a weird reality you must live in. The whole rest of the world's got guessing, and you got this thing in front of you, like, oh, it's real. We have one. I could show it to you.
That's how everybody in Space Force will have to feel, right?
Right, they must. How many of them you think see shit?
I'm saying, how do you think Elon Musk really feels? Like,
I don't think he's going to tell you.
no, I'm saying in his head, can he still have a superhero? Or is he one of them?
Ooh.
You know he's one of them. Like,
If you're the richest dude in the world and you're also a super genius, how the fuck do you stop yourself from thinking you're a superhero? That's the big question.
no, it's not like that.
No?
No, it doesn't have superhero side effects to it.
I mean, you would probably think.
The more you know how little you know.
That's true,
So
too.
there's not you know what I mean? And nobody has ownership of information. That's why reading books moves civilization. Because, like when I said, like, you know, I read 3,000 books, people were like, yeah, right. But, you know, everything in life is about the environment it was grown in, the petri dish, right? So if I told you that from the time I was 8 to the time I was 12, I never celebrated any birthdays. I never went to a birthday party. I never had a Thanksgiving, a Christmas. I never trick-or-treated. I wasn't allowed to watch movies, and I wasn't allowed to watch TV. All I could do was read. If I told you that, then you would understand that for 8 hours a day, I got 8 hours, and I can read, and I love to read. And so I'm reading books that are 250, 200 pages, and it takes me about an hour to read one. So yeah,
It takes you an hour to read
I'm reading
150 pages?
8 a day. Yeah, like all I'm doing is reading, because that's what. So I'm checking out 20 books. The limit at the library is 20 books at one time. So I'm going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday just because this is my thing. Like,
So you're getting 60 books a week?
minimum, because
Really?
yeah, because I'm reading more than that, because I still have religious books that I have to read. So understand this is pre-internet first.
Right.
So understand that in reading one thing that I'm reading, right?
Right.
This one thing that I'm reading is also requiring me to have this appendix book that is the source book that it's telling me it's getting these things from. And so I've got 4 books open at a time just for this one book. Like, but yeah, so first, I guess between 8 and 12, I can read classics and nonfiction. So I'm saying no novels or anything like that. I'm just reading Time Life has like 1,800 of these individual books on all subjects of the world. And
So you just spent most of your time reading?
not most, all of it.
All of your time reading. And then when did it
That was my thing, because like I was able to be in each of these stories. You follow what I'm
Right.
saying? And I was getting so much information. Like half of those I probably had to write a 1-page report on after, you know. But yeah, that was my whole thing. And the numbers aren't even really accurate because I read more than that. Because like sometimes I would read something and I wouldn't get it. Like there was this classic book called Little Women that I probably read it 4 times because I just didn't understand it, and I knew it was a classic, but
I never read it. What's it about?
it's
Have
about
you read it, Jamie?
Some Little Women.
I just watched an episode of Curb where they were talking about it. That's
What is the story?
Well, here's the thing.
sisters, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like 4 sisters think
Okay.
that, okay? But they had money and an incredible circumstance. But the thing was, I didn't have any sisters, so I didn't have anything to pull from, and I didn't have women in my life like that. So, yeah, a lot of things I would have to read multiple times for me to get.
Right, to try to think how they thought.
Right. Well, yeah, like even like the Three Musketeers. Like I probably read it 3 times because it was so. I read it like the first time to read it, but then the next time I had to read it again because these characters were really distinct characters.
Right.
And I couldn't figure out, wait a minute, did this happen really in history, or was somebody just this good at telling this story of the, But it's things like that leads you to the Knights Templar story, which leads you to, seeing how things through history have remained. You know what I mean? Like, all of that you get from the books.
Well, history to me has always been the most fascinating thing because you can't quite imagine it. You're trying to imagine it, you're piecing it together.
Yeah.
Listen to these stories and you just sit back and go, what the fuck was that like?
Right.
And that
Which
wasn't
is
even that
what we
long
create
ago.
every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're creating the future's version of what the fuck was that like. This
Yeah.
place right here freaks me out the most because this area, specifically this area of Texas, the Hill Country, was just all Native Americans forever. There's thousands of arrowheads, man.
Here's the
My friend
thing.
found this on his ranch.
None of those people, when we say those people, none of them picked a bad place ever.
No.
That's when you understand that there's a grid.
Yeah.
Because nobody's holy people picked bad spots.
No.
Everybody understood certain things about the area, and long before they had x-ray machines. And
Yeah.
if you just went by that in the whole world, you would start to understand, like, the true power of the Vatican and the fact that certain things are based on real shit, like the Ark of the Covenant ain't some spooky little story.
What do you think
Like,
it is? Think it's like a nuclear generator or something like that? What do you think it is?
Whatever the nucleus is, that would nuclearly power something that would have initially been in the pyramids, would also have been in the Ark of the Covenant, which would be the same thing. It's
Right.
something that you can't fuck with, and it's
Right.
radioactive, and it's very powerful,
That's why they
but
gotta
it
put all
still
those
has
rocks
to
around
be.
it. Oh, shit.
That's what I'm
Imagine.
saying. Nobody's telling any crazy stories, my man. Not globally.
No.
No. Everything.
Well, it gets
was
less
about
crazy
something.
every year. It gets less crazy every year.
Yeah.
20 years ago, talking about any of this stuff was straight up nonsense.
Yes.
But now people are like, well, hold on. That's probably what disclosure actually looks like. It looks like a slow trickle integration into the zeitgeist to the point where it's just normal.
Because a lot of times they're right.
Yeah.
A lot of times it turns out that they were right, that no, we couldn't have told people this because, yeah, they would have went and this would have happened and that would have happened. And you can start to see that.
Yeah. That's why when you think about what people have always believed, that's why angels and devils freak me out. Because no one wants to believe that there's a Satan, that there's a devil.
You believe in astronauts, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But people have always said there is.
You mean a bad and a good?
Yeah, not just a bad and a good, but an actual evil, malevolent force.
No, just start with bad and good.
Yes, bad and
okay,
good,
so
yeah.
if we started bad and good, then we understand what must be at the extremes of that.
Right.
Nobody's telling a different story.
And then there's the concept of actual entities.
Yes.
Actual demonic entities that do exist.
Well, I'm saying your DNA is either fused or it's not. If it is, it requires a fuser. That's all.
A fuser.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
I'm saying if they tell you that certain parts of your DNA are fused, that requires a fuser. Did I say that right?
I'm not sure. I see what you're saying. The structure to us in everything, all of it, does seem remarkable.
In a no mistakes type of way.
Yeah, in a synchronistic sort of a way.
Which flies in the face of the accidental Big Bang, nothing from nothing way of thinking. And it always has been.
Well, that's what I think, like in the beginning there was light, when they talk about that. If you were going to describe the beginning of the universe, even if you're describing the Big Bang, which there's a lot of speculation that that wasn't necessarily the beginning, that there might be a continuous cycle of these events happening over and over again. But if you were talking about a creation story, you would say in the beginning there was light. Because there was a fucking enormous amount of light. It created the entire universe.
Literally.
Literally.
Right.
I think.
Which is all it says. And here's like, whatever they say that hell or Hades is in any of these religions worldwide, it is the perfect description for what a black hole is in real life.
It is. You fall through forever.
A bottomless pit.
Yeah. Where time doesn't exist.
Where time does not exist, where you don't die, but you don't exit. Where the information.
And it eats stars.
Right. But it eats stars and galaxies, all that, right? But we can have multiple of them and everything will still be okay.
They're the center, the center of
That's
every
the
galaxy.
flex.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
we're
the
fine
flex.
with them.
Right.
It's like if you live in Africa, you got to deal with lions.
What's this thing? Oh, it kills everything.
Right.
Everything what? Everything it touches.
Everything. It's going to get us eventually, but not now.
What, you
That's
mean you
the
have
flex.
two of them?
They find them floating around.
They find them.
They find them floating around.
Right.
I mean, they noticed them.
Yeah.
They noticed that they're out there floating around.
Yeah.
They found one that's so fucking big. We did this thing when we played a video of how small the Earth is in comparison to the sun, how small the sun is in comparison to giant stars, and how small giant stars are into the most massive, supermassive black hole that they know currently. It's bananas.
Our
what's out
perfect
there.
habitat is so perfect that anyone universally with sense would say, whew, location. You know?
Like the greatest real estate agent ever.
If the moon or the sun were further back, we'd
be fucked.
Yeah, or
If Jupiter wasn't there.
closer, or like
Yeah.
the whole thing is, someone later saying, "Do you think Beverly Hills was? You think this was an area they built on purpose?" Yeah. Was. Oh, don't let me.
Oh. Just imagine if the moon was slightly smaller. Just imagine.
Look,
Imagine if the Earth was slightly further away from the sun.
they know that it's to the point where some of it might have been artificially done, and they're aware of that. They're aware of the true
So the artificially
specifics of the
created solar
moon.
system? Oh, the moon.
Right.
I've heard that theory.
Specifically.
That's a wild theory.
Well, some of it's not theory. Like I was on that subject as a teenager, but as a grown person is when the thing happened where they hit it with the missile and it rang like a bell.
Yeah.
Like certain things are.
What was the explanation for that? Because it did have some sort of a crazy, like...
The question is, who will offer an explanation?
Right.
Because it wasn't like that. They didn't just do it once. Like all accounts say, it rang like a bell for hours and hours and hours.
Imagine if that's a feature for a stable planet that they put there.
Well, that's how Xbox works.
Really?
You know, or PlayStation. I'm an Xbox guy, but I'm saying, you know, you have your gaming system, and it just requires that and your Wi-Fi nearby, and bam, you know,
Right.
make things happen. And so many of our things globally, we come by understanding that, and the magnetics and dynamics and things that really work.
There's a lot of people that think that whatever we're seeing isn't just from another planet, but from another dimension. That they're dimensional travelers. That they have access to places that we don't have access to. Because we're too primitive. We can't wrap our head around it as a civilization. We haven't reached the ability to transcend, but that they can, and that they're here all the time.
Well, the way we look at it, you know, we're the greatest spot in the universe, but the travelers don't lead us to believe that.
Well, there's always competition. There's always going to be a greater civilization than the one previous. There's always going to be more. There's always going to be more. If people are going to innovate to the point where they're going to make spacecrafts, that means these people are competing with each other. These things, whatever they are, they're still, they must be in some sort of competition. There must be something that motivates them. And so,
Right, but at that level, competition is healthy and there are no unhealthy components.
Hopefully.
So, well, no,
Yeah.
I'm not hopefully, definitely. Once we're all building space, personal space contraptions for ourselves, we're going to push one another. It's not just we're going to all want the best one.
Yeah.
And we're going to insist that be the case, just like we do with cars.
when I said hopefully, what I mean is that, like, hopefully they will be, like, healthy, friendly competition. That's what motivates them. What's not hopeful is that they could be robotic, emotionless things that have transcended biological needs, and that they just have a function. That function is seeding intelligent life in the universe and establishing, just like you would be a farmer and you would go out and leave hay for the animals.
Needs are primitive.
Yeah, they are primitive, but we're always moving into some more and more complex direction. Technologically, it seems like that's never going to stop.
Right.
And the only thing that makes sense to me is that we're doing something because that's like what we're literally designed to do. We have all these things that sort of motivate people, and greed and lust and curiosity.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're always making better things.
Yeah.
Constantly making better things, which
Yeah.
would lead ultimately to the creation of a higher life form, some more intelligent, emotionless being. And that's the scary thought, is that all this life out there is life that was created by biological creatures who had these desires and needs that ultimately led to them making a better version of them. And then that is like the butterfly that comes out of the cocoon.
As soon as we put people in space, we became aliens that day, right?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of things are perspective.
That's true. I mean, you could say you're a camper, but you really only go in a tent in your yard. You're still kind of camping.
Well,
but that's what we're doing
saying
as far as space travel.
Our guy has put a date on the Mars colonization, though, right?
Yeah, but he's also put a date on the Roadster. When that Tesla Roadster's coming out, that motherfucker's never going to see the light of day. When is that car coming out?
No, because
Something about it the other day.
That car is supposed to be out for years.
Yeah, it's supposed to be out 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
That's part of being a billionaire.
Sure.
It's not worth putting out something that's not right. It doesn't matter how bad it's wanted.
Well, he actually explained that. He said it was manufacturing is insanely difficult. And the way he explained it, you don't consider it because people just manufacture things. You think it's normal. But he was like, the process of manufacturing, especially like a car, an electric car, insanely difficult.
He had a harder time doing that Cybertruck than he did space stuff.
Cybertruck's hard. What's all folded steel? It's this fucking massive 7,000 plus pound folded steel truck that goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And it looks like it's from the future. It looks like if you were going to watch
It's the hottest thing on Mars.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the most futuristic car ever.
Right.
Yeah. But
as kids, that's what we drew.
I don't know when we're going to Mars. And I don't know who the fuck's going to do that. That's a 6-month journey. And you're just hoping.
So what? Several billionaires were talked into getting into a capsule with limited air to go a long way down.
Dark way to die. Just knowing that you chose to
just
do
know,
it.
Even if you're a racist hearing this, all death is dark. So
what I mean is the last moments must be horrific.
No more horrific than anyone else's.
I know, but there's something about the choice of being, thousands of feet under the water.
No, it's being a billionaire.
It's crushing.
Your soul dies long before. I could have done anything. This is what I chose.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that depth.
That guy could be fishing in Maui right now. With a nice cold beer, hanging out with his friends, listening to some music. Instead, he hears.
Right.
He hears that carbon fiber starting to crack. God damn.
It's already done at that point.
Yep,
None of that's
done.
happening.
They knew those people were dead a long time ago, which is interesting because I didn't know how sophisticated the underwater listening devices are. But they have these super sophisticated underwater listening devices everywhere to make sure that Russia's not sneaking up on us. Because Russia will sneak up on a motherfucker. Russia snuck up on people before.
None of that is for Russia.
You think it's for aliens?
None of that is for Russia.
You think it's for aliens? That would be the wildest shit of all time. They have underwater listening devices because they knew that aliens were under there.
Okay, let's see if this is weed talk or not.
Let's go.
So, which one do we know more about? Do we know more about space or do we know more about the oceans?
We know more about space. Yeah, quite a bit more.
Okay, so
Yeah.
And part of that is because
the ocean's very difficult to penetrate.
At some point, it's government.
They're hiding things from us. I would hide things from people. I would definitely make it illegal for you to have a submarine. You could have a yacht. Don't get crazy. You can't go underwater. I got to know where the fuck you are. If I need to collect taxes.
Well,
if you're floating around, I could pull up.
It was a conspiracy theory at one point that the government got bases inside of mountains.
Right. Well, until they had to expand the boundary behind Area 51 and make Area 51 larger, they never even admitted it existed. It wasn't until the Obama administration that they actually came out and said, Area 51's a real thing. We need more land. Do you ever see the video of Bob Lazar, the guy who used to work there? Have you ever seen that guy? That's a wild
I was following old Bob Lazar. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think he's telling the truth?
Here's the thing, Joe. Just an opinion, but what I find fascinating is the lack of imagination in any of these stories where imagination could apply. Like
if someone was bullshitting, you'd see evidence of it.
Like,
right? Because that's the
right,
thing. If people
right.
bullshit, they kind of bullshit about everything.
right.
Because they think they're smart enough to trick you. No one's smart enough to come up with one story only their whole life. Their whole life, they're straight, down the middle, square, tell the truth all the time. But one time, they decide to have a whopper of a lie and just fabricate this thing and structure it.
You're seeing somebody tell you a story that is the only explanation for certain things that are happening.
Yeah. Especially he tells you a story, and then you have independent people who also used to work for the government now becoming whistleblowers and saying there's a crashed retrieval program. Crashed UFO retrieval program.
It goes back to what I'm saying, Joe. This is how you say this without getting canceled. Look, you do think they're doing something, don't you?
They're doing something. They wouldn't tell us everything they're doing.
We want to believe nobody's doing nothing. Like, no, we're doing stuff. Like
they're doing something. They're just not telling us.
That's part of it, though, right?
You know what the people involved in the retrieval call the vehicles? They call them donations.
Right. Well, because
that's what they think they are. They think that the limited times that these crafts have shown themselves. You
as the driver or the occupant didn't mean for that to be your destination. And you don't take anything. You only give. Therefore, that's why it's known as a donation. Because it's like... it's what you would say if one of those meteors that we were talking about, if one just the size of a refrigerator landed in your backyard. Like, $1 billion can land in your backyard. Easy peasy.
Or obliterate an entire city and send everybody back to the Stone Age. That's the wildest one.
Right, but it's not that wild if you look at the moon.
Right.
The moon shows you the evidence that that's a thing. Right, like...
If we could just look at it, it's just filled with holes.
Right.
Big fucking craters all over that you could see with the naked eye.
Well, I'm saying most of the people that are in America and drive in urban settings know what potholes are. And so, it's the same thing.
Yeah. This is a weird time where people are just starting to pay attention to so many of these subjects. And so many of these things, like, are we alone? Have there been advanced civilizations before? How did we become us?
It's been a conversation at all points in time.
But more people are having it now without fear of being labeled an idiot.
Well, it's because information is now a free commodity, whereas in different points in history, it wasn't like that.
Right. It was protected.
You didn't make enough money to get access to this information. And no matter where you're looking, information is the driving force of almost every war and conflict. It was about the place that you conquered. Not only did you conquer them, but you got a chance to know what they knew. And that you found was more important than anything else. And
Well, think about the people that lived just before they translated the Bible from Latin. How many people couldn't read it?
Well, that was part of the experience that you were getting from church, was the fact that that it was being read to you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Not what we have currently, where you have the book and they have the book, but, you know, this person is literally reciting the word of God to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he becomes the holder of all that information and the only one.
All holders of all information
Yeah.
are that.
Yep. It's like a human pattern
Mm-hmm.
that people follow, even if they just run an internet company, even if they run a social media company. They follow that same pattern.
Well, because
Control.
everything in the universe, everything on this planet, everything that we could look at in the wildlife or in the plant life, or everything is a formula. Everything is that way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, the science and math go together with the occult and alchemy, and all of these things are based on things like even the Smurfs story, right?
The Smurfs are based on something?
Well, religious people would say, oh, you can't watch the Smurfs because it's bad because they have witchcraft and stuff in there. But the whole thing is, it's based on this, the homunculus, the idea that you can create a human life form without a mother or a father. So,
Really? That's what the Smurfs are based on?
What two Smurfs do you think
I
got
don't know
together
much about Smurf lore.
and had Smurfette? She was the only female of the Smurfs. So,
It's a good question.
well, it's not a question in the Smurfs. They tell you that Gargamel made Smurfette. But, in somebody's history, I don't want to say what race of people or group of people it is, but in somebody's history, there was this homunculus thing.
Like a
and
genetically engineered human?
life form.
Life
Yeah.
form. Creature.
Right.
Whoa.
And so, it's spoken of in history very sparingly. But, a lot of things in the world are about perception,
Yeah.
So we don't believe that there's clones. We don't believe that because we don't feel like we have the technology. But the truth is, if you go body part to body part, you'll go, what if I lost 2 legs? Well, we can give you 2 legs. Well, what about 2 arms? I can give you 2 arms. Okay, well, what about the heart? Yeah, no problem. What about the, we're already.
Yeah. All you'd have to do is make a clone brain dead. Figure out how to engineer a brain dead clone that'll grow organs for you.
Look,
And then they'll make cloning legal. Because then you'll never have to worry. Hey, Katt, you need a new heart? Guess what?
this is the same. This is the same pathway that everybody is on in all of these departments. Like this is what you like. People spend their life trying to find the cure for a cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And working as hard as they can every single day. You know what I mean? Unsuccessfully. Those are the type of people that help make the world go around,